Why is the snake around the egg? It's the beginning place of this energy called Kundalini. Begins at the tail end. It begins at the feet. The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. The beginning place is in the heart as well. The nest with 8 eggs, the 8 Genesis cells. The snake that is rooted in the earth, in the ground, like your feet when they walk, completely connected to the earth. It is all the base principles of need and desire, survival, instinct, rooted. It's the beginning place of consciousness, embodying itself. The mountain range where Matthias de Stefano on his journey of initiation stood. He was guided there to do grid work, and the 3 ibis birds were circling above him, and this happened by a mountain range. You saw the being in front, Osiris's white hat, that has the exact same shape inside of a heart cavity, and you saw the white rabbit behind him and the big mountain behind the white rabbit. Osiris was not human, it was a feline, and it was lying down. The Sphinx initiation of the lion, the heart of a lion, is the heart of the sun, is the Kryst. Lion is July when the sun is 12 o'clock at its highest in the middle, like the solar plexus is, like the lion's gate, connecting us to the sun that is at the center of our spin. If we begin the new year when nature begins a new cycle, in the spring equinox, nature wakes up on March 21st. And if we take the 28 days of the moon as months, this brings us to the Lion's Gate in August 8/8, which is the exact middle of the Leo zodiac sign, and it makes August into the 6th month. It puts it in the middle. The eve that July goes over into August, one day before the 8/8, is the Yule Eve, the Yule Eye, the eye of the needle. Yule is the old word for Christmas, and Auge is the Germanic word for eye. Germanic comes from the Proto-Indo-European Aryan root language, originating in Hyperborea, the time before Lemuria and Atlantis. The ceremony of Christmas Eve is called Christmette, and Mess is Mez, and Mette is Mitte, which is the middle. So we have the Christ in the middle, 12 o'clock noon. 12 o'clock is also 0 hours, which in the Tarot is the Fool Child. The symbol of Christ is also cross, and once a month the masculine pineal gland excretes a cerebral spinal fluid called honey, or Joseph, and the feminine pituitary gland excretes a fluid called milk or Mary. When these two fluids reach the solar plexus, they cross and merge in hierogamic union, they conceive a solar Christ child or son. On 8/8 Lion's Gate, the double diamond, the Sphinx is directly aligned with, and the gates open to, our galactic central sun, which is the Sirius blue star binary star system. Alcyon is the parent sun of our solar system's sun, The second star is Digitaria, Sirius B, and Sirius C, it's because it's actually a trinary star system, has not shown up yet for us.
Sirius. We realize that many ancient temples all over the world are aligned to this powerful star or system. From Chaco Canyon to Chichen Itza to Angkor Wat to all the temples in Africa, Japan, Göbekli Tepe, Sirius was the most important star in the sky to the Egyptians for the entire civil and religious system. Sirius and its representation of gods and goddesses may thus be thought of as figures representing time itself.
The Lion's Gate is guarded by the two royal Syrian lions. These two are the lions of yesterday and tomorrow. The sun disk that they hold between them stands for the eternal now moment. The solar plexus, or the sun, is the place of entry of the energy and is the center of every torus. Every iris is the same principle as natural portals, stargates, and chakras. And in the center is the 0 point that leads to source through the eternal now moment and timelessness. The quantum field. In the Feng Shui, the middle of a house is where the energy gathers and distributes throughout the house. Time follows the same principle of flow as chi or ki or energy or light of a torus. The natural time flow flows exactly like all natural bodies. There is the masculine time that flows into the future and the feminine time that flows back to source. What makes water flow is the vortices in the water. This we can see when the salmon swim back to source. They use vortices that are spinning in the opposite direction of the flow direction of the river. We can also see this in the tides. We have the ebb and the flow, the out breath and the in breath. Every sun in the center of every torus is a portal from plasmoid through atoms, quanta, photons, cells to universal sun, soul. Through all parent suns, all the way to the central sun, the source of all life forms and energy of our universe.
The heart of the Sphinx, and that is the place of initiation, carrying the dimensions of the heart. The heart and the mind can understand each other, which is empathy.
The initiation into telepathy, which is telepathy. The beginning is also the end, and every end a new beginning.
And that is the 96th
Death
and rebirth, and it's the beginning of the rise
of life force energy, prana, chi, or kundalini, up the 33 vertebrae of the spine, the stairway to heaven, also known as Jacob's ladder.
Transmutation is the medicine of the snake, all the way evermore into transcendence. However, in the body, you take the body. You stay connected with earth, with your roots in the ground. On your way up, you grow wings and you grow a crown. And then you are crowned king and queen of your own land. And you have full dominion, and you are rooted and anchored in. And only then does the anxiety stop. And the white rabbit takes this initiation into telepathy, into compassion. Deep down the rabbit hole we go, and we meet all that has been lost along the way, all the aspects of us that have been abandoned and forgotten. And the white rabbit is worried and anxious to miss its tea party. Just like you were worried and anxious to miss your train and not get all your aspects together before the train leaves. In your dreams, it had always been the element of great anxiety to miss this train. And you were always late, just like the white rabbit. And usually you had too much to carry. You're anxious to lose and you're anxious to miss. And this is only because you're detached from yourself. Because the things that you need, you cannot lose. The realization that awakens that you and the dream are one. You are not separate from the dream. It's easier to see. It was a reflection of your anxiety and the insecurity to shift in your consciousness to realize that your computer is a reflection of you. How is that possible when you thought you were separate? Even if there were a technical explanation for it, but that it showed up. And it's about what impact did it have? What did it make you feel like? And actually, it was just a magnifying glass of what was already inside. Worried about that things may go wrong. The snake coming out of the egg, and you have the snake charmers.
Ophiuchus, the 13th sign of the zodiac and the first sign of a new cycle, which we have entered recently at the Galactic Equator. Ophiuchus is also the mother of dragons, the hierogamic Christos Sophia consciousness, and like the seraphim dragons, which are angelic plasma beings, also known as the cosmic solar dragons.
the snake energy, and the beginning place in Australia. And the red rock, that is rock bottom, the root chakra. The composite to red is blue, the throat. The throat is will. And when you know what you will, your own will, your true will is then only free. You must know it first, and you can only know it when you're not under the spell of the conditioning, and you're not slave to that, when you have your aspects back. And as you retrieve, you go down the rabbit hole. Osiris being the hierogamic twin of Isis, operating system Iris, the core of the eye, is the tunnel Yod-He of the Vod-He, because on the other side of the eye and the iris is the other eye. It looks onto the inside, and in the center of the X it's the 0 point where there's the quantum field, and everything is neutral and suspended, the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. And they are three. There's a third eye, and that's the eye of the soul. And when you learn to see with that eye, then thine eye be single. Then you see from the bottom of the sea, of the chalice of your heart. And your heart is the vortex that gives your blood electromagnetic, levitational spin, that feeds the blood with plasma. But for this, the heart chakra must be open to receive, so it can give birth to plasma. Plasma is the blue flame, the flame that does not consume. It is a cool flame. When you have this compassion, that your heart can have this quality of the cavity like Osiris's white hat. But for this you must know yourself, because you have to have a free will. So there's a false sense of will growing up in this matrix, and then the will is not free, and then do as you will has a completely different meaning. The blue flame is also the blue ray, is the ray of Michael and Mary, is the angle, is the angel angle that you see in the symbol of the Freemason. A is the masculine and the V is the feminine, and it's the angle and it's the angel and it's the L. If you take the letter L, it's a V, it's that right angle. So it's the base element, and there we have the L. G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. The 7 Elohim, the 7 tilt angles of the tetrahedron, smallest part of chi geometry, the quanta, bending light at 7 angles, 7 days of the week, 7 outside spins of the human heart, with 5 inside spins, like the outside 7 white keys to the octave and the inside 5 black keys, making up a chromatic octave of 12, like the 12 form-giving dimensions of our universe. And the 12 keylons, keylon or keyions, of our original human blueprint angelic diamond sun DNA. Keylons, also called fire letters, of the fire that does not consume, being plasma. The cosmic solar or aurora dragon plasma beings hold the key to and represent the cosmic life force key flowing through all the currents, making up the keyions, or the fire letters, in our DNA. According to Ptolemy, the 7 Elohim, or the immortal 7, are creator beings from the central universe of Anu-Va. They are actually 9 because 2 are twins.
energy, void, fire, water, air/wind, light, gravity, earth, and mineral. Through angular spin of particuli moving through sacred geometry of form, the neutral white light coming from the quantum field gets bent into the original 7 base colors, again same principle up to 12, which are also the 12 great cosmic solar rays with their respective solar lords or archangels hosting the archangles of spin. Michael and Mary host the 5th dimensional blue ray of the high heart or aquiline heart and the throat.
When the Kundalini energy reaches the heart, that's when we grow wings. When it remembers itself as the love that it is as your soul. And then you can know your own will. That is the same as thy will be done, because it is in alignment with the divine will. And that is then when what you broadcast is harmony. Truth is associated with the throat, and it is the sword of Michael. It's the sword of truth because it cuts away through the veils of illusion that are keeping us in our pain. The Excalibur, that is Excali. It rises out of the Kali Yuga like the phoenix out of the ashes. Ur is the source. These are the ley lines on earth.
They are dragon lines.
There are Michael lines and there are Mary lines.
Robert Comber, the author of The Lost Octave, posted this in March 2022. Dimensions to Camelot open. St. Michael's Mount. This stone is exactly where Archangel Michael appeared to monks upon the mount. As soon as I touched the stone, a vast charging of my aura became visible, captured here. Being a blue ray myself, a deep connection to Archangel Michael of the blue ray and to the lineage of the Knights of the Round Table poured in as the Mary and Michael ley lines cross here.
The color blue and sapphire Talmud hexagonal cone crystals were sapphires. That's what was given to apparently to Moses to place into the Ark of the Covenant, not the tablets with the 10 Commandments. The fire and the water coming together, and it's producing a blue flame from the ether, from the 5D self, from our soul.
Ether, the 5th element, attributed to the 5th dimension. From the perspective of the system of 7, the 5th level of our aura, and the throat, the 5th chakra, stands for divine will and structure, and healing is gaining a sense of truth and purpose.
And it is the heart that is harmonizing everything. And this is the heart of a lion, courage. And then when we are anchored in ourselves, we feel no fear, and we have courage to follow our will, anchoring into our own sun.